Since no one can keep the law, what is its purpose? That we may know the holy nature and will of God, and the sinful nature and disobedience of our hearts, and thus our need of a Saviour. The law also teaches and exhorts us to live a life worthy of our Saviour. Question 15 summarises a lot of what we've seen over the past few weeks, especially as we've gone through the 10 Commandments. The law shows us the holy nature and will of God. If you just started working for a company and your boss asks you to make her a cup of tea in the morning, what does that tell you? She probably likes tea. And if you honour and value your boss, you'll make her tea with a glad heart. For those who are followers of Jesus, we want to live a life worthy of our Saviour. Not a life that makes us worthy, we can't do that. But if we've seen God's holy nature revealed in Jesus, and we love him, we want to be like him. Well, the law teaches and exhorts us to be like Jesus in specific ways. Think about the 9th commandment, for example, you shall not give false testimony. God requires that we do not lie or deceive. Now this shows us God who's completely committed to truth. In fact, when Jesus came into the world, he came full of grace and truth. He said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. He is the truth, he speaks the truth. That is God's character. So his will is that we speak the truth. Do we? All the time? See, God's laws show us also our sinful nature and the disobedience of our hearts. The law is like a mirror. I might think I look fine, but a mirror shows the reality. Toothpaste there, a spot there, hair sticking up there. We easily think we're doing fine. The law gives us God's standards, and then we see the honest truth. You might think you're an excellent archer until I set up a target and ask you to hit the very centre. In our behaviour, in our thoughts, words and deeds, God sets his standards, but we miss the target. So the law shows us God's perfection, and the law shows us that we are far from perfect. So the law makes it clear that we need a Saviour. In the next few questions, we will see the problem of sin and the problem of the consequences of sin. Then we will find there is an answer, and his name is Jesus. Before now, we've thought about the meaning of the 10 Commandments and realised that none of us is able to keep the law. And since no one can keep the law, what is its purpose? That we may know the holy nature and will of God, and the sinful nature and disobedience of our hearts, and thus our need of a Saviour. The law also teaches and exhorts us to live a life worthy of our Saviour.